I was talking to Brett the other day. Brett said that he would be able to find this recording and get it to Brandon and have him put it out on the website for those of you who aren't here tonight. Not those of you, but those of the people who aren't here tonight. So we'll see where that's going to end up, and I'll ask Mark to send out a note once we figure out how that works. So thanks for attending. This is our first monthly programs virtual meeting. Just to let you guys know, we will not have a meeting in September because the state deputy has scheduled all the diocesan meetings for the last week of the month. So September, we will not have a virtual meeting. You'll hopefully attend your diocesan meetings. Then October, we'll start back up with the virtual meetings again. And we can go over that a little bit more toward the end. But tonight, what I wanted to do is show the program directives and the Grand Knights some information on where you can find information about programs. So the first place I'll start is I will go to Supreme's website. So is everybody looking at the screen for Supreme's website? I'm asking that question, everybody's muted, huh?
Not yet.
I'm just seeing all the faces of the participants right now.
Okay, let me come back over here. Make sure I'm sharing and everybody can see what I'm looking at here. Do we see the Supreme website yet? No?
Nope.
Here it comes.
There we go.
Okay, good deal.
Ding, ding.
All right, so now I think I got this figured out. Okay, so what I'm going to show you is where to find information about programs. The easiest place to go is Supreme's website. So if you just go to www.kfc.org, I don't know if you can see my mouse moving around, I'm moving it right across the top. If you go to kfc.org, this is the screen that you start on. And if you click on the For Members, it's a box that's going to lead you to just about everything in this website. Scroll down, partially down the page, and click on Programs. Now, when you open this up, it opens up the entire Faith in Action resources package. This first screen that we're looking at is the overview and highlights. And you can see overview and highlights. It's got this picture and it's got Faith in Action resources. There's a bunch of numbers and each of these numbers is in blue. So if you click on them, it's going to open that link. So right here, you can see Faith in Action Guidebook. For those Grand Knights and program directors who have the blue spiral bound book, this is the booklet. So if you just click on that number, it's going to open up a PDF version of the book. So if you didn't get a Faith in Action book, you can actually print it right here from offline if you wanted to print, let's say 20 something pages. 21 pages is about what the booklet entails. But what it has on it is all the information about the Faith in Action programs. Now, you need to watch in some of these screens from Supreme, when you click on a link, it's going to open a new tab for you. Like this one doesn't have a back arrow, so I can tell this is a new tab. So to close it, you just close it down. It brings you back to the previous screen. So again, this main page is giving you the overview and highlights. So it's got some Faith in Action minimum requirements. This is for their Supreme's special programs where you're going to get 2-point credits instead of 1 for doing the program. It's got some FAQs of the frequently asked questions. It's got a program forms reference guide. It's got all this stuff on it. It's got the Fraternal survey, which will be coming up in January. The Columbian Award application, the SP7, that's due June 30th, so that's for the end of the year. And Fraternal Programs report form to enter online. This is an important form, this 10-1784. Here, you don't click on the form number itself. You click on the button that says Enter Online. So I think I showed this at the KCLS in Prairieville, but I didn't get to show it at the KCLS in Alexandria because I had a computer problem and the network was not letting me connect. So I didn't show the online form. But just to look at the form, if you wanted to fill out this form 10784, and we suggest filling out this form after you do any program, whatever program you do, have either the program director, the committee director, the main program director for your council or your grand night fill out the form. And we just ask that you coordinate and make sure that only one person per council is filling out the form. Otherwise, Supreme is going to get 3 or 4 different forms and try to record it into the system, and it's just going to be duplicates. Right now, Supreme really doesn't do much with the form, but what we're hoping is that in the future, as you submit a 10784, that Supreme is going to take that and automatically apply it against the SP7. So they'll actually track the Columbian Award application. The Supreme is hoping that that's what's going to happen when they revamp their entire computer system, which they're in the process of doing. So just to look at the form to see what it's going to entail, when you click on the form, enter online, it opens up an invitation. You need 2 things. You need your membership number and your last name. As long as you have an email address registered in the member management system, as long as your financial secretary has your email address and it's updated in the system, you can fill this form out. If you don't have an email address on file, then you're not going to get anything back. So just put in your membership number, put in your last name, and proceed. And please check your inbox or your spam folder for an email. So I'll give it a couple of minutes because it probably takes several minutes to get this back. But once it does, I'll open up the form and show you what we're asking you to fill out. So once you fill this out, then you can just shut that box down and go on about your business. So while we're doing that, while we're waiting for that email to come, I'll explain some of these other items. So if you go to the Faith in Action resources and you click on faith, then it opens up your faith program. So listed below is all of the different Supreme programs under Faith in Action. Under the faith program, you have your Pilgrim Icon, Building the Domestic Church Kiosk, the Holy Hour, along with the Eucharistic Procession resources. That's new this year. And there's people waiting in the lobby. Let me take care of this and make sure that they're all
I got them, Steve.
Okay, thank you. So go back to the resources page. So if you click on any of these items, typically you notice each one has a guide sheet. Each one has a guide sheet. So let's just take the first one, the Pilgrim Icon program. If you just click on the 10682, it opens up a guide sheet. Most of these guide sheets are just 2 to 3 pages long. This one's 2 pages. There's 1 or 2 that might be 3 pages. Most of them are 2 pages. And it gives you an overview and some action steps on how to plan your program. And then down toward the bottom, it gives you some resources and then a link. So right there is pretty much anything your program director or your committee director would need to know to run this program. That and the schedule that comes from the state on our Pilgrim Icon, and I'll show you where that is on a state website later on. Mike Rose is the chairman for the Pilgrim Icon program. So he'll send out information every so often with an update as to where the icons are in which diocese. You just need to get in touch with your diocesan administrator and ask him for the icon for your church. So again, this just opened a new link, close it off. It's got a copy of the prayer booklet. It's got a copy of the program, the prayer card. It's got a horizontal and a vertical poster. It's got a news release for when you want to do it and then schedule. That schedule is Supreme schedule. It's not the state schedule. Same thing with Building a Domestic Church. You have a guide sheet, you have a trifold, information poster, an activity poster, and a book list. Each of these programs has that information. What I did year before last is for my council, I printed out each of those guide sheets, being that they're only 1 or 2 pages long, put each of them in a separate tab in a 3-ring binder, and gave that binder to each of these committee directors. So for Faith, he had a 3-ring binder with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different tabs. Those 8 different tabs had those guide sheets behind it. If he wanted any more information that he wanted to print out, if he wanted a copy of the poster or a copy of a news release, copy of the prayer booklet that comes along with the program, he could just go out to the website and print it himself. I just made a simplified version. And I did that for each of the 4 committees. And for our program director, I made one book that has all 4 sections in it. And I did the same thing for the Grand Night. So it's something that your committee directors or even the program director can do for the council. Then as you change directors, just send that book along to the new director, and hopefully you would have put any notes in there as to how you scheduled something, when you scheduled something, who your contacts were, what dates and things like this. So the new director isn't lost in trying to create the wheel again. He's got a booklet from the previous year or several years that shows how your council has run that program in the past. So to me, it's a best practice. It's something that you might want to consider. Moving to family, the same thing. All of the different programs within Supreme's family program are listed. The consecration to the Holy Family, the Family Fully Alive. This is just basically a booklet. The Family of the Month and Year. There's a great guidebook over here, this 1993, number 1993. It's a guidebook. It's quite a few pages long, but it gives you all kind of information on how to select the family of the month, how to select your family of the year, what we're looking for in a family of the month, family of the year. If you notice, a lot of these do not have separate forms anymore. That 10784 is basically good for most programs. Now, there's a program or two that it's not good for, like Food for Families. You'll see here's a Food for Families refund. Because you're asking for money back from Supreme, they have a separate form for Food for Families. You can report your Food for Families project on a 10784, but if you're asking Supreme to refund you $100 for each 500 you contribute or each 1,000 pounds of food, then you need to fill out this form, this 10057, and send it in to Supreme, and they would then send you your $100 check back. So again, most programs would use the 10784 form. There's a handful, maybe 4 or 5 programs that use a separate form. Food for Families is one, RSVP is another. The new ASAP program is another. It uses its own separate form. But from almost every other program, that 10784 program report is what you would need to send into Supreme. So again, here's all the information for the family. Community looks the same, all the different information now. Catholic Citizenship Essay Contest, all the information in here is for Supreme's contest. At the state level, when we hold it and put it on, there's information on our state website, which I'll show you later, for our local contest, our own deadlines and things like this. But for a couple of things like Citizenship Essay Contest, the free throw, the hockey challenge, which they have on here, the soccer challenge, Grand Nights and program directors may want to consider ordering all of those program booklets or program boxes all at the same time. Ask your Grand Night or financial secretary to go out to the online supplies online, and order each of the kits. I believe what Supreme's charging nowadays is they're charging $5 per kit plus postage and handling. So it would benefit your council if you're going to order the kits, order them all at the same time and just pay one postage. If you order one kit in August, you're going to pay postage with the $5, and in September you're going to pay postage with the next $5. So just order them all together. You lower your postage cost. Life, same thing. There's a bunch of programs on here for life. All the different life programs that Supreme recommends or the state recommends are all visible here. Again, you can click on any one. Now, when you click on the forms, Faith in Action forms, that's just kind of odd, but you click on the forms and it brings you to another little blue line. It says all Faith in Action program forms. Here's a page that has all the different forms. If you want to know how to fill out the 10784, if you look at the form and you're not quite sure, you can watch a video right here. If you go to 10784 and click on this watch, I think it's a 5-minute and 4-second video that shows you how to fill out the 10784. It's a pretty intuitive form. So if you need to, you can watch the video. If not, just open the form and start clicking boxes. Here again, if you click here under the 10784, the online preferred method, it's going to open up that invitation and ask you to fill this out. Once you have a form, you can use it multiple times. You don't have to request it every time in one day. If you're, let's say if you wanted to fill out a form for 3 different programs, just use the same email that you got and just click on it 3 times. It'll open up the form 3 different times for you. You can fill it out for each program. But if you want to do it a week from now, you'll have to go back and request a new form, because I think that form only stays active in your email for, it might be like 48 hours. So again, here's all the forms, the RSVP form to request your refund if you're going to give $500 to a seminarian, you need to fill out a separate form. Food for Families is a separate form, and ultrasound is a separate form, as well as that ASAP program, the new program for aid and support after pregnancy. This is for pregnancy centers, crisis pregnancy centers, home shelters for women and stuff like this. The difference between this program and these others, RSVP actually refunds your counsel. Food for Families refunds your counsel. The ASAP actually refunds or sends an extra $100 to the pregnancy center that you're donating to. So it doesn't send money back to your counsel. Let me just check my emails and see if, okay, so I've already got an email right here, an invite to submit form 10784. So when you click on that link, it says, please click on the link below to complete the submission of your 10784. I just wanted to show you guys real quick what the form looks like. When you look at the top part of it, it's consistent every time you open up this program, or every time you open up this form. As you click boxes across the top, the bottom is going to change. So right now, there's no bottom to the form because we haven't told it what we want to do. So let's say we want to report that we did the Pilgrim Icon program. Let's say you've gotten the Pilgrim Icon. It's a St. Joseph icon this year, the big, large picture along with the box with the booklets, and you held a prayer program in your parish. So you come in, you click the button for Faith Pilgrim Icon program. Now this system automatically knows that I'm the one reporting it. So it's going to show my name. It's going to show my membership number, my council in the state. Now I gave it my last name and my membership number already, so it knows who I am. It's connected me. It goes into the system. It knows that I belong to Council 12529 in Louisiana. Now there's boxes opened at the bottom. So if you're filling this out and there's not a program name at the top that you want to fill it out, you're doing your own program that you created. Right there in the box, it says if other program name. Right here, you would fill that information in. So if you did say a quarterly communions aren't listed anymore under the faith category. But if you're still doing quarterly communions, you can click the box for other under faith. When it opens up the bottom, if other program name is, you type in quarterly communion. The dates of the program, you would put in the dates. If you held it today, it would be August 24th. Current year to whenever. So if it's a program you did in just one day, you could just leave it or click the same dates here. Then it's going to ask a couple of questions. It wants to know how many volunteers, members plus 9 members, worked at your program, the total volunteers times the number of hours per person. So if you're averaging with the icon program, let's just say 1 hour, you had 40 people involved, 35 members, and 5 non-members. That's 40 times 1 hour each. It automatically puts in total volunteer hours of 40. Participants, non-volunteer, I guess might be a pastor, or if you have paid workers. I'm not sure what that is. Was you past or present? Yes or no? Program planning. They're just looking to see if you had any cost involved and how many hours it took you. How many members were recruited? Guys, all of our programs, almost all of our programs, with the exception of the ones that entail council members only, should be recruiting events. Bobby's talk last night was on how to recruit members. You can hold church drives and things like this. Let's not forget our programs. When we're holding programs and we're asking non-members to come in, we're asking our parishioners to come in, or the general public, that's a great recruiting tool for our councils. So right here, how many members did we recruit? Did you receive any donations? Icon number for the Marion icon, or the traveling icon, because we clicked that box. Total number of prayer services we held. On a scale of 1 to 5, how engaged was your parish? And then just give them some feedback. If you think the program was good, if you think the program needs something else, give them the feedback. Just hit submit. When you hit submit, this form automatically goes to Supreme. I believe when it goes to Supreme, I believe the Grand Night program director and I think financial secretary get a copy of that form. So again, right now, you have to fill out an SP7 at the end of the year. Well, when you fill out your SP7, you would have all these emails with these forms that you can fill out to fill out your SP7. So again, if you wanted to fill out another program, click the button again, it opens up another one. You wanted to click Family of the Month. Now click this, because I know this is going to show something different at the bottom. Almost all the other programs on here are going to show those same questions at the bottom. This one's a little different. This one still asks you if you had volunteers and non-volunteers and stuff like this. But this one has information about, well, who is your family of the month? The name of the nominee, the husband, the wife, are they a KC member? Your family of the month does not need to be a KC member. You can name somebody in the parish, is possibly a recruiting tool. Name somebody who's active in the parish who's not in the Knights, give them family of the month, and then try to recruit them into your council. But family of the month does not need to be a member. Family of the year does need to be a KC member. So at the end of the year, when you select your family of the year, don't pick the one member that you maybe honored through the year that wasn't a member, because it just won't go any further than your council recognizing him. Then it just asks for a little bit of information about the email of the Grand Night, the email of the nominee family, explain why you gave it to them, things like this. By filling out this form by this deadline, the 15th of the month, 15th of the following month. So for August, you have until September 15th to file this. The example, November nominations need to be received no later than December 15th. All family of the month forms received by Supreme, as long as they're properly filled out, their names are entered into a drawing. Supreme pulls one name every month from every jurisdiction, and that person is named the family of the month from Supreme that they're going to recognize, and that family will receive a Holy Family gift and a letter from the Supreme Knight congratulating him on being family of the month and sending it to him. So that's why they're asking for the email, mailing address, and the email of the Grand Knight, because the Grand Knight's going to get a copy of that letter to let him know that his family of the month was chosen by Supreme to receive that gift. So if there's no other reason to participate in this program, it's just for that. Give your council, give your members a chance to be recognized by Supreme. It's not qualitative on what you put in here. It doesn't matter what you put on here. You can put on here, he was next in line for the family. He was alphabetically next in line. Supreme doesn't care. They're going to randomly select one person from each jurisdiction, from each state. So every month of the council submitting family of the month forms from Louisiana, one person gets selected. And it doesn't matter the reason he got selected. Supreme just pulls a name at random. So again, do that just to honor your members. If you don't fill out the form and you just recognize a family of the month in your council, then that's the only people that know about it. This way, Supreme knows you recognized them and can possibly win a gift. So I just wanted to bring that up. So that's what you'll get, this email, and then that's how you fill out the form. So again, the forms, now let me just mention there is one great form out here. If you look at this form right here, this 11172 Program Reference Guide, it's a very compact, I think it's 3 pages, very compact form that you can look at. I'll open it and show you. So it's a reference guide for different program forms. So if you're not sure which form to fill out, well, here it is. And if you look, the majority of forms listed, the 10784, the 10784, 10784, the 10784, it's going to be just about everywhere on here in the community, 10784. Again, some of the forms that need to be filled out for special cases are listed in here. The RSVP form, you need to fill this form out to 2863, but for all the other faith programs, you fill out a 10784. The family of the month, 10784. For all these other family programs, 10784. For the family of the year, there's a separate form, and food for families. Again, you're asking for a refund, it's a separate form. Now, this form, Keep Christ in Christmas has a form. The Citizenship essay has a form. The free throw and soccer challenge, hockey challenge, all have a form. If you just click on one and see what this form is, this is the form that you're going to get when you order the kit, when you order the box for the free throw championship. They're going to send you about 150 or so of these forms. Now, along with the kit, you're going to get a booklet on how to run the program. You're going to get participation certificates, and you're going to get winner certificates. But if you already have those, or you make up your own from your own council, you just need the entry and score forms. You can just print one of these off and make as many copies as you need, and don't buy the box from Supreme. Save yourself the $5. But if you did that, you just don't have the participation forms and the winner's certificates. So to me, it's worth the $5 to buy the entire kit. But if you have a kit and you have some leftover forms from the previous year, you can use those, or you can just print this off of the site here. And it's the same with all the other, the soccer challenge and the Christ and Christmas poster contest. It's the same thing. It's just an entry form that's required with those. So again, that's Supreme's website. I think if you needed, just about anything you need to know. And if you start drilling down in these programs and you get lost and you can't figure out where you are, if you just click the emblem up in the top, brings you back to the main page. Then you can just start over again, go back to form members, go back to programs, and it brings you back to the main page. So sometimes when you click, you kind of go down a rabbit hole, and you're 3 or 4 links into it, and you can't remember where you started. You can just always jump back to the very beginning and start over.
Steve,
now, let me jump back.
Hey, Steve, yes, sir. David Myers has his hand raised.
Okay, I was going to say, I'm trying to get back to my screen here so that I can see if there are any questions. Okay, let me unmute David. Okay, how do we unmute him, Brett?
He's got to unmute himself.
Oh, okay, David, unmute yourself and go ahead and ask.
Steve, with reference to the family of the month, if a non-member is selected, could that non-member be selected by Supreme for the family of the month award?
I don't believe so. But that's a good question. I'll double check that just to make sure. My leaning is no, because Supreme doesn't normally recognize the non-members. They're very explicit with that, with the family of the year. But actually, I'll have to go in and read the booklet and see if they recognize the non-member for the family of the month itself. I haven't read through that complete booklet to know that answer, so I will find out for you.
Okay.
and let you know.
All right.
Okay, any other questions at this point? Okay, what I'm going to do next is show you Louisiana's website. LouisianaKC.org. So if we look at Louisiana's website, and hopefully everybody can see that page, we've got an entire page dedicated just to programs. So just go to the state website, click on programs. Now, I'd mentioned earlier that there's a training video on how to fill out that 10784. Here's a quick link to it right there. So if you wanted to know how to do it, you wouldn't even have to go to Supreme's website. You can go straight to the state website and click on it right here. The Faith in Action program forms, the Faith in Action programs, the resources and guides, the family, community, life, all of this stuff is what we just showed you on a Supreme website. If you look at these tabs here, when you click on faith resources, boom, it just opens you right up to the faith page. So you really have two options. You can go to Supreme's website, go to the for members. Why did that? Okay. Go to the for members tab, scroll down to programs, and then click on the tab that you want across the top, or you can come straight to the state website and bypass going to Supreme's. It'll just bring you to Supreme's website. Same thing for life, same thing for family. It just brings you straight to the family page opened up for you. So Brandon has set that up for us. Now, besides the Supreme programs, what we have on the website is state council programs. So the rest of this form here, or the rest of this page, has information about our state council programs. So if you wanted to know something on the faith and vocations about the Bishop Greco Foundation, if you wanted to know about the retreat, you wanted to know about the Seminary Mission Fund, there's presentations that were made at KCLS sitting right here. The Pilgrim icon, that's not up right now. I think Brandon was working on the calendars that Mike Rose had sent, and I'm not sure why it didn't get updated yet. But I know he's working on that. So again, if you go to family programs, we have family programs, and then Keep Christ in Christmas poster contest. If you wanted to know about the family programs, well, here's the Supreme Council family program that's going to open up to that same page again that we just looked at, that shows on Supreme's website, Faith in Action Programs Family. And this says community programs presentation, but it's actually the family. That's just misstated. It's just a PowerPoint presentation from KCLS that Glenn Ray had presented, showing all the information that he presented at KCLS. So we tried to make that available for the people that did not attend KCLS, that the information is still here. Same thing on the community programs. That's going to bring you to, this is going to bring you to the Supreme website. This is going to bring you to the KCLS presentation that Delmas did. We've also got some cross-Catholic outreach, some disaster relief, and all the free throw, soccer challenge, and citizenship essay stuff. This is a great place right here for all the different contests. It's got just about everything you want to know about the contest. So free throw championship, state council info. If you open it up, it's going to give you Delmas's presentation on the free throw contest for the state. In it, it shows you the deadlines for this year. November 1st is the deadline to order the free throw kit. Like I said, don't wait, order all the kits together. If you're going to do free throw, you're going to do soccer, you're going to do an essay contest, you're going to do a Keep Christ in Christmas poster contest, order all 4 kits at the same time. It's going to save you money on postage, and you'll have them all at the same time. Keep them in a council hall or wherever you store your materials. And last year, we did have an international free throw winner. This little girl shot 23 out of 25 at the state level and was named an international free throw winner. So Delmas just presented her with her award, I think, last week. So again, this is this is available if you wanted to know about the soccer challenge. The same thing, click on the state info. Here it is, and here's all the deadlines for the soccer challenge. August 15th, order your kit. September 30th is when councils have to hold it. October 15th is district. October 31st is diocesan. November 14th is state. Got all the information in there. It's got contact information. It's got just about everything you would need right here. Now, if you wanted to see it all together, state council deadlines and awards, Delma's created one form here. I believe it's 2 pages, but it's got his information up at the top and Glenn Ray's information down below it, because Delmas is responsible for CYLA, soccer, essay, and free throw, and Glenn is responsible for the Keep Christ from Christmas poster contest, because that falls under family. All the others fall under community. So for each one of the contest, here's the deadlines, and then here's the awards to be given out for each one. So if your kids are interested what they're going to get if they win, this is the information right here. So for free throw, district, they receive a medal. Diocesan and state, they each get a plaque. Same thing with the soccer challenge. The Keep Christ from Christmas poster contest, diocesan winners get $50 checks. The state winners get $200 checks. Essay, you've got 50, 100, and 250. And then CYLA, you can see the money we give out there to CYLA winners. That would include, would not include anything that your council gives at a council level, assuming you give something other than maybe a certificate or a plaque. So again, that information is there. The if you can't find a particular presentation in any one of those that you want to find, on the very first page, on the main page for the state, there's a link right here, KCLS documents. Any presentation that was made at KCLS, and I think this includes the I think it includes his something online membership. It includes membership is what I was going to say. It's got all of the different flyers that we presented, all of the different things that we presented, as well as like the protocol presentation that was made by one of the state officers. It's got the state deputy award information, and that's what I was going to show you next. Hopefully everybody's goal right now, we're still very early in the year. Hopefully everybody's goal this year is to get both Star Council and State Deputy Award. So go back and click on programs. If you scroll down to the bottom, there's information on here for the State Deputies Award, and it's updated for 2022-23. So you can look this over, see what's required for the State Deputies Award. Basically, you need to receive 1,600 of 2,000 points. So the letter just explains what we're trying to do. Then there's a 2-page form that shows the different criteria, the different categories. And we kind of color coded them so that membership and insurance are together in the yellow. Submitting, there's 3 things you have to submit. They're in the kind of grayish color. Safe environment is in the bluish color. Support, we ask you to support several different things. They're in that greenish color. We ask you to participate in a couple of different things. That's in the pinkish color. And then confirm is in a purple color. So we kind of categorized it just by color for you. Now that's a brief explanation of what's needed. So to participate in certain things, you can look over here, participate. We're asking that each council send at least 1 delegate to the state convention. It's worth 100 points. Participate in KCLS. Well, we had TBA on that, but we know the dates. That was back in July. So if you attended KCLS, your council is going to receive 100 points. If you were not there, you missed out on that 100, but you still have opportunities to get the other 1,900 points by following all this criteria. Diocesan, please attend one of the state diocesan meetings. Out for the ones in September. There's also going to be meetings in the spring, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure that they've been scheduled yet. If you participate in CYLA, and then this email, Mark is going to be sending this email out within the next month or 2. We're giving everybody time to send in their form 185 and 365. And then once we think all the forms are in, Mark's going to take the Grand Night emails from those forms that are sent in to Robert, and he's going to send out an email asking you to confirm. So what the rest of this document is, it's another 4 or 5 pages. It goes into detail exactly what we're looking for. The main item here is mandatory. There's one item that's mandatory you have to do, and it's strange. You have to do it, but it's not worth any points. But without doing it, you cannot receive any points. And that is, you must recruit and add 1 new member to your council. You're not eligible for the State Deputies Award unless you add 1 new member. So if you got 1,900 points, if you missed your membership quota, you're going to get a 0 because you recruited no new members, but you did everything else on this list and you got 1,900 points, you would not be eligible to receive the State Deputies Award. And I think last year we had 1 or 2 councils that had enough points, but they were not eligible because they did not recruit 1 new member. And again, if we use our programs as recruiting drives, there's no reason we should be able to get 1,900 points or even 1,000 points without doing some recruiting. So again, use your programs as recruiting tools. And again, the rest of the information is just detailed on here. Now, I know you guys all get Mark's emails, but I'm sure you all got the invite for this. But if you wanted to go back and find one of those older emails Mark sends out right here in the program newsletters, here's all the emails that he sends out. And you can go back, I guess it's 2 months or so that he must keep so many on a page and then they drop off. And if you want to make sure you get them, just click on the thing to join the mailing list. If you want to know about all of our different cook-offs and athletics, you can click here. The youth contest and deadlines, again, that's a good thing. It brings you back to this thing. Here's the deadlines and awards link. So again, the state website is a great resource for programs. It's got a lot of information from our different directors, from our different committee directors on what they have available for their particular programs. And again, if you have any questions of those guys, please don't hesitate to ask them.
Hey, Steve,
yes,
Steve,
sir.
real quick. Where was that program emails? Where was that link?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Down at the bottom of programs, the very last thing you can click on.
Oh,
program
the newsletter. Okay, there it is. Okay.
And that'll open up all of Mark's previous 2 to 3 months of his program newsletters that he sends out. He tries to send them out twice a month. You'll notice on there that the frequency is a little bit more. And what happens there is he plans on sending one out on the 1st of every month and the 15th of every month. And we try to include as much as we can, but every so often something pops up and he's requested to send out either an update, a flyer. Like I think recently he sent out an update on the Fête de Teche that happened in Lafayette. He sent out a program's email on the Fraternal benefit webinar coming up. I think he sent one out on that. Yeah, here's one, the Fraternal Benefit Seminar schedule. He clicked one on that. He sent one out on Veason's Silver Rose program. He sent one out on a Star Tracker report. Here's the Fête du Teche, the Eucharistic procession on the bayou. He sent that one out. He sent one out about diocesan meetings. So again, I know he tries to send them out on a scheduled basis around the 1st and 15th. It may sometimes come a little later than that, depending on if he's waiting on something from us guys. He'll go to Bobby and myself and ask for updates, or he'll have something that he puts in his newsletter and he asks us to confirm, and it might take us a day or two to get back to answering. So some of that, it may be our fault. It may just be that he's got other stuff he's working on and can't get it out exactly when he's trying to get it out, but he tries to get it out for the 1st and 15th on a regular basis. Now, one other thing I wanted to show is, this is just a quick form. Again, this is just my information. If you have any questions, you can send an email to programs@louisianakc.org, and that will come to me. That email address is tied to my personal email address, and Brett's got it set up so that anything you send to programs will come directly to me. Now, I don't have a slide for it. I tried to find one and I didn't have it. I just didn't have time to make it up tonight. All of our committee directors, the community, the family, the faith, and the life directors, if you have a question for those guys, it's the same thing. You don't send it to programs, you would send it to community@louisianakc.org. That's any question you would have for anything that falls under community, and that would go straight to Delmas Forbes. Anything that you send to family@louisianakc.org goes to Glenn Ray, the family director. Anything for faith would go to Don Ducote, the faith director. And if you send something to life@louisianakc.org, it goes to two people. It goes to Sam Mastretta in Baton Rouge and Ronnie Dupuy in Shreveport. Ronnie is our life director for the state, and Sam is our South life director for the state. We have two different life directives this year. So with that, I will open it up to any questions. Again, you can either chat or just unmute and ask. Okay, I'm assuming that means there is none because I don't hear any questions. One other thing that I would ask is that you guys provide some feedback for me and some suggestions for future meetings. What would you like to see in the future? I tried to cover the general in this virtual meeting. I just kind of wanted to cover Supreme's website and the state's website as to where to find out program information. If you want me to concentrate on a particular program, I can either do that or we can bring in the program director, depending on whose program it is. If they're available, we'll get them on this virtual presentation and they can present more specific details about their programs. So if you would like to see something in particular, maybe something about forms, maybe something about you're having a problem getting a program started, you need some suggestions, whatever. If you want to know best practices for different programs, we can find some of that out for you. We know that there are certain councils around the state that do some pretty darn good programs. We've seen them in the past, just from the State Deputies Award, the STSP form that's filled out toward the end of the year for the convention, where the state deputy picks the top program in each of the 4 committees. We can possibly get maybe one of the councils that won in the past to help provide us with some best practices for how to do a program. So any feedback you've got about this meeting, any suggestions for a future meeting, if you just shoot me an email at programs@louisianakc.org, I would really appreciate it. And it would help us to organize and drive where we go in October. Okay.
This is
Daniel,
a good job on this one. It kind of repeated what we saw at KCLS. So, and I guess the repetition's good for me. So appreciate it.
We're good. Thank you. Daniel put a thing out in the chat. If you guys look at your chat box, you can click chat up at the top. Silver Rose is getting close. Thank you, Daniel, for mentioning that. I did want to mention that. Just recently, one of Mark's emails was about the Silver Rose program. You guys saw that on there. It is getting close. We're going to have 2 different Silver Roses this year, one in 1 month, one in another. And Veasan just sent out an email to Mark with an updated schedule. And I believe there's 2 different schedules, one for the first month, one for the second. Again, if we look, I can find it in the program's newsletter faster than I can find it anywhere else, actually. Here's the information on the Silver Rose. It's coming around October 1st to October 30th and October 30th to November 27th. It's 2 different roses that are coming, and they're going to 2 different parts of the state. So October, and I believe what Veasan recently did is he just rearranged his schedule a little bit. There was some open dates from one of the dioceses, and he rescheduled it. Like he's got on here, all of this area here from October 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st is actually headed for Houma. I think he's just recently changed it and moved some of these dates to New Orleans, because there were some requests for New Orleans where they were already booked on these particular dates and certain councils wanted them. So I'm not sure if they were picked up yet. I know he tries to update the schedule every so often. It's one of those things, if you don't update it on the website every day, it's old news the day after you put it out. But here's the schedule for the October Rose. It's going basically through New Orleans, Houma, Thibodaux, and Baton Rouge. And then the Silver Rose in November is scheduled for Lafayette, Alexandria, Shreveport, and Lake Charles. So again, there's some open dates here. And you can see there's several open dates. There's a couple in Lake Charles, but there's a couple open dates in Alexandria and Shreveport. So that might be a first come, first serve type thing. If they're available right now for Alexandria, and somebody in these two right here, November 7th and 8th, somebody in Lafayette wants those two, Beeson will probably just keep it in Lafayette for those extra 2 days and not move it to Alexandria till the 9th. You know, again, it's a work in progress with Silver Rose. As the dates get filled, he fills out the schedule. If you have any questions, I suggest you contact Beeson. His information is right here in that email. It's got an email address for him and a phone number. I think if you sent an email to silverrose@louisianakc.org, he would also get that email.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you, Brett. Not sure if that was the name that it was using or not. So how are the roses passed along from council to council, the specific procedure? My understanding is it's not. The procedure is typically that you would get together. I say you, the person in council A gets together with person in council B that it's going to and from, and you work out who's going to bring it where. You might meet in the middle. They might come to your presentation and pick up the rose from you. That's up to the two councils to work out. Okay, and before we leave, I see George is on and he had his hand raised. I was going to ask George if he would to make some comments. George?
Yeah, guys. Good evening. How are we doing, fellas? As you can tell, this is something new that we're trying to do this year. We want to communicate as much as we can because we feel there's councils out there that feel they don't get enough information to cover some of these membership and program activities. But, you know, first down at the gate, we're going to be a little slow. But I think Steve's done a great job. Bobby did a good job last night, barring the technical difficulties. But one thing to remember is you're a grand knight and you're coming to this meeting. Bring your program director or directors. Bring more than one. Let them get some of this information so they can see. Because the more they can learn, the more they can help your grand knights. And district deputies that are on board, why don't we have more councils on board tonight? You know, I want to thank you guys for being here, no doubt, but we need to get more people involved in this habit of getting here to these meetings. I don't think there's that many councils out there on the same nights, but remember, we're trying to help promote as much information that we can funnel down to you guys and help you guys be bigger and better as far as being a star council. Because if some of these things don't take place, you lose points, right? And to give you another heads up, out of 40 councils last year, they got the State Deputies Award. 38 got Star Council. So the two that missed it were the two councils that did not recruit one new member. So go figure. You got a quota of 5, and we're only asking for 1. But, you know, in essence, all this information we have out there is so much more of an advantage now than in years past. We had all the old snail mail forms we had to send in, hopefully got in on time. Now you have such a quick response with the emails And on this data information, it's so much easier to file, communicate, to get the information out there faster, right? But it falls on deaf ears if we don't share this. These two programs, it's going to be the fourth Tuesday and Wednesday of every month. We're not going to stray from it except for next month because we have diocese meetings next month. So we'll be in your backyards, and we're not going to have this big production, but we're going to be out there in your face and talking to you about a lot of different things. We definitely we know it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of things to keep up with, but you guys are doing a great job by being here first of all. But Liz, share the information. Dee Dee's, get your councils to come. Get your program directors to come with them. You know, it's such a great resource. There's no doubt. Steve could tell you he's been around long enough as a state member, as a council member. This is great. This is awesome information. I wish I had this when I was a Grand Knight, and that's been many moons ago, right, Steve?
Right.
So, but once again, I just want to thank y'all and commend y'all for being here, and thank y'all for the information. And Brett, thank you for putting it on. And Steve, thank you for putting out the information that you're doing. And guys, please share whatever your concerns are, more detailed information, because guess what? This program's for you guys. It's not for us. We can stop this tomorrow and whatever happens, happens. But if we can help you be better than you were yesterday, we've done our jobs. So I want to thank y'all. Viva Jesus.
Thank you, George. Okay, brothers, if there's nothing else, we'll close with a prayer. What I'll do is I'll read the prayer for the canonization of Blessed Michael Mcgivney. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. God our Father, protector of the poor and defender of the widow and orphan, you called your priest, Blessed Michael Mcgivney, to be an apostle of Christian family life and to lead the young to the generous service of their neighbor. Through the example of his life and virtue, may we follow your Son, Jesus Christ, more closely, fulfilling his commandment of charity and building up his body, which is the church. Let the inspiration of your servant prompt us to greater confidence in your love so that we may continue his work of caring for the needy and the outcast. We humbly ask that you glorify Blessed Michael Mcgivney on earth according to the design of your holy will. Through his intercession, grant the favor I now present. Through Christ our Lord, amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Thank you again, brothers, for attending. Viva Jesus.
Thank you. Appreciate it.